Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2:20 breakout session, Improving the Patient Experience with Cloud Endpoints. My name is Angela Gosz, and since this is a healthcare dedicated breakout today, and since we are at Google Cloud Next in the midst of 35,000 people in a 2.5 block radius, and in healthcare, we're focused on wellness, I would be remiss as a certified yoga instructor not to take us through a quick moment of mindfulness. So if everyone wants to just get into a comfortable seat in your chairs and sit up straight or find some comfort, let's take a quick inhale through the nose and an open mouth exhale. Did that feel good? I'm getting some head nods. Excellent. Let's do it one more time just for fun. Ready? Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Wonderful. Thank you for indulging me, and hopefully that was good for you too. Okay, quick housekeeping note for today's session. In case this is anyone's first breakout at the conference, this year we're doing something a little bit different, and we brought our Dory Platform to the conference. Dory is a platform that we use internally here at Google for questions and answers. So if you want, you can open up the Next app, click on the session that we're in today, Improving the Patient Experience with Cloud Endpoints, click on the Dory link, and then you can type in any question throughout this session today. One of the unique features about Dory is that you can actually upvote or downvote questions if you also happen to have that question. And if you type in the answer and we don't get to it, or I'm sorry, the question and we don't get to it by the end of the session, I can personally assure you that myself or someone from my team will actually answer that question by the end of the week. So just want to make sure everyone feels that they have the opportunity. And with that, let's get started. So it's fair to say that the cloud transition has fundamentally changed the way that we live in our personal lives. Did anyone take a Lyft or an Uber on the way to the conference today? I see a lot of hands. Did anyone use Google Maps to plan their trip to San Francisco? A lot of hands, awesome. Did anyone use entertainment apps like Netflix or Spotify to enjoy entertainment on the way here? Excellent. And what is one thing that all of these apps have in common? They allow instant access to data no matter what device you're logging in from. And through this access to instant information in our personal lives, it's also increased our expectations of how we expect technology to work in our work lives. Well, the same is true in healthcare. Today's caregivers and patients alike are cloud natives, and they expect to be able to use technology to give better care and increase face time with their patients, or receive better care and have more face time with their doctors through the use of technology. More wired, consumer-oriented, and innovative than ever before, the healthcare industry is and has been undergoing profound transformation. Starting to cater to one-click experiences, healthcare is starting to look like other industries, and a truly consumer-driven industry or marketplace is taking shape. Patients are gravitating toward providers who are meeting these higher digital expectations. And the good news is that when providers invest, Accenture actually recently posted that providers can boost margins by as much as 50% in meeting patients' expectations. On the flip side, providers are more and more reporting feelings of burnout. Has anyone here heard about physician burnout? Yes, we have heard about it. I actually went to an event for the American Heart Association in Chicago on Saturday night, and the chairperson of the organization referenced this exact same statistic. In that example, the goal of the organization was to acknowledge the burnout and and take in more mindful practices to reduce stress of care providers, ultimately lowering the potential for heart disease. In our case here today, we're talking about how we can leverage technology to reduce some of those experiences of burnout. The thing is, as most of you raised your hand today, health IT and health leadership has heard this. They know that patients want more from their technology and that providers also want that help to increase face time. But the challenge is managing and delivering on those expectations while increasing or maintaining security and reducing the cost of care. In the third quarter alone of 2018, 4.4 million patient records were compromised in 117 different data breaches. That's staggering. And increasingly, every year that studies are coming out, the top concern of US hospitals is reducing the cost of care while meeting financial targets. So most everyone agrees that things can be done better, specifically in the areas of better integration, better support, better training, increased security, and of course, lowered costs. Here at Google Cloud, we would offer that the key to security and simplicity can be found in our cloud. Through it, you can find an increase in access to information so that providers are not spending as much time looking for the data and spending more time giving care, reduce operational costs, increase security, and protect the PHI and fight the cyber attacks that are coming out. This is the same technology that we're offering that Google uses internally as our own organization. Just keeping that in mind. And also offering better value. Imagine being able to perform clinical duties in the morning and then go on hospital rounds in the afternoon and log in from home to access your data from any device or location that you might be in. This would mean that you might have the access to give better time and potentially treat situations as they arise. Transformation for your organization could look like anytime, anywhere, fast access to patient information, be it web, mobile, or other legacy-based application. Reduced cost and complexity, specifically in the face of budget cuts and funding uncertainties. Better insights to drive decision-making, helping out with the goal to improve population health through IoT and big data analytics. Stronger information security and improved access to patient care, be it through retail clinic, telehealth, home monitoring, or other virtual option, meeting patients where they are and ultimately giving them a better feeling of care. Chrome Enterprise is the best choice to put the power of the cloud in your provider's hands and ultimately improve the patient experience. For your healthcare organization, the solution is secure by design. With a multi-layered approach to security, it includes comprehensive AI-driven threat protection, automatic updates, verified boot, and the ability to wipe lost or stolen devices within minutes. It's easy to share and manage. The management console comes with 200 plus security policies that you can provision at the user or the device level so that you can control and curate the end user experience of choice. And through the seamlessness of the management console, it is you're able to manage hundreds, if not thousands of devices with a very lean IT staff. And we do have some studies out there I would definitely encourage you to check out. And it's a smart investment by increasing end user productivity and reducing operational costs. For your healthcare practitioner, Chrome Enterprise is a great solution because it provides ready access to healthcare apps and VDI. So whatever application your care provider needs to deliver to the end user patient, Chrome is able to help you do that. Additionally, it's a fast and familiar interface that's as easy as navigating a browser. One of my favorite things about Chrome OS as an end user is that these devices boot within 6 seconds. And they come out of standby in 3 seconds, which if you can think about the course of your day and every time that you log in, log out, restart your computer, that cuts down on a lot of downtime. And additionally, with the automatic updates, you don't have to wait, or your system is going to restart in 4 minutes and you get that notification. Updates happen seamlessly in the background. And finally, a variety of devices help meet end users where they are to perform any function. So we have in our form factor options the Chromebook, which is our notebook offering. We also have tablets and 2-in-1s. We have the Chrome Box, which is our desktop offering, and a Chrome Base, which is an all-in-one. And these are available through all of the major OEMs that you're already working with. Companies like Acer, AOpen, HP, Dell, Lenovo. Go ahead and check out what their Chrome solution looks like. And for your patient, Chrome offers autonomous access to information, so they can access their data instantly and from wherever they might be. It also increases face time with the provider while they are at a facility, and it provides a feeling of more personalized care when the face time is increased between the physician and the patient. In its total economic impact model, Forrester ran a study and found the following results. In a composite organization of 50,000 users using 15,000 Chromebooks and averaging 10 devices per user over a 3-year period of time, these were the results. $1.5 million in hardware and software cost avoidance, $3.5 million worth of employee productivity gained, 75% improvement in IT productivity, and $50,000 saved per device when remotely disabled in the event of loss or theft. These are great numbers, and you might be thinking, wow, Angela, that's awesome, but how does it affect my organization? Well, I would encourage you to Google Chrome Enterprise TCO, and you'll find our friends at ESG actually put together a calculator for us so that you can put in all of your own inputs, including the number of end users that you have, the type of job function that they are, whether it's frontline or knowledge worker, the productivity software that they use, and there are some other questions to follow as well. So definitely check this out as a resource after the session today. We also have a robust ecosystem of partners. So Chrome was invented 10 years ago, and today is the #1 leveraged platform in the education space. Well, on the journey over the last 10 years, and people finding out about Chrome through this growth, they've said, hey Google, can Chrome do this for my organization? And over time, Google listened, and every time that a customer asked and we weren't able to deliver, we created unique partnerships with these organizations. And so today, we are able to deliver on a great deal of clinical workflow for your organization. Calling out 2 such partnerships, which are basically mission critical for us at this point in time, Citrix and VMware. The reason why these partnerships are so strategic is because largely today, the major EHR companies, electronic health record, which is the #1 thing where care is given from, where information is input to and accessed from, are typically still legacy-based. We probably will see a migration to the cloud at some point for those organizations in the future, but for today, through our partnerships with these VDI organizations, we're able to deliver EHR through VDI on the Chrome platform. So Chrome Enterprise improves the patient experience in the following ways. It's helping the healthcare practitioner through a variety of form factors instantly access information, reducing some of that burnout and helping their patients a little bit better. From the patient experience, patients have more access to information and more face time with their doctors, which gives them a better sense of care. And finally, customer service. By helping through different use cases, both on the front line and back of house support, patients feel that they're cared for and they're able to get their questions answered quickly. So now that we talked about how the solution works, let's talk about what some of the actual use cases for Chrome in healthcare looks like and what some of our customers are doing today, starting with the mobile healthcare worker. In this use case, we're typically deploying Chrome in a one-to-one capacity on a tablet, a Chromebook, or a two-in-one convertible device. And this really looks like the clinical plus knowledge worker hybrid solution, or mobile VDI, if you will. And again, all of the major OEMs, you can find one of those form factors from them. One thing that we used to hear is, that's great and I'm really liking the solution, but I need for the provider to be able to work even when they're not on a Wi-Fi network. And the good news is that we do have LTE options in the hardware portfolio today so that you can have that connectivity at any time. Shared workstations. So this looks like clinical workflow. Multiple people are sharing one device. It might be in a hallway, in an exam room, on a medical cart. That could be in an all-in-one, on a Chromebox, or a Chromebook. And the wonderful news here is that we're able to complete clinical workflow and the shared user workspace through our partnerships with Imprivata and HealthCast. So where that badge tap and go is concerned, we actually do have a demo of it at the healthcare industry breakout on that side of the showcase floor. So definitely encourage you to check out what our shared workstation use case looks like after the session today. Digitized training and communications. Fun fact, training is a common use case where a lot of customers start their journey with Chrome. The reason for that is because typically training departments have a smaller pool of devices that are in a siloed environment. And so that silo creates a more palatable situation to run a POC and pilot. And a fun fact for you as well, or an anecdote I should say, one of our customers from Wisconsin actually worked with us at HIMSS 19 in Orlando in February and shared that in their training use case, they were preparing for incoming residents for the next educational season. And they, by their own measure, saved 150 hours in time from not having to image devices, but rather enroll them into the management console. So they felt like those were really great results. And as such, they have now started to look at Chrome for other use cases. And finally, temporary staff. Has anyone here ever forgotten their laptop at work? A couple people? I actually did it 2 weeks ago. I was really embarrassed. But the great news is that Google has a solution called Grab and Go. And our IT department created it a while ago. And the reason why they did it was to help with end user productivity uptime. So in our Grab and Go solution, which we are demoing at the Chrome Enterprise breakout in the workplace transformation space, what happens is that an end user will go to a hardware kiosk, which is available through one of our hardware our partners, and they check out the device, log in through their cloud-based profile, and they're up and running for the day or the week if they're visiting another location. And then once they're done, they simply log out and return the device to the hardware kiosk. Now, you might be thinking, well, what does that actually mean? Notice in this situation that I just described, there was no provisioning required by IT for that end user to start doing their job, which meant that they were able to start immediately, and there was no deprovisioning time needed for the IT department, which means that the end user experienced more uptime, more access to their information, and the IT department won because they did not have to serve that particular incident. So grab and go is a wonderful solution, and maybe you have healthcare vendors that you serve or other people that rotate in and out throughout your facility. So definitely check this out at the Workplace Transformation booth. Moving over to the patient-facing use case, we have two examples to talk through today. The first being self-service. In the self-service use case, this is where we're talking about kiosks being used for patient check-in and check-out, to take surveys, to verify address information, insurance. When the patient is able to do this on their own, that saves on administrative time from back office staff, so that freeing them up to do other things. And it also is nice for the patient because they're in more direct control of their own information. And then finally, the in-room entertainment and information use case. This might look like a tablet at the bedside. It might look like a Chromebook being used in a waiting area, or it might look like a Chromebox attached to a monitor in a hospital room. And in this particular use case, a patient-facing app would be delivered to the patient so that they have more direct access to their own information, lab results, the list of their clinic visits, different things that they would want to have access to about their care plan or about their treatment, or having access to directly communicate with their care provider. So there are multiple applications available for this today. But where it comes in intersection with Chrome is that at the end of 2017, we started to deploy the Google Play Store across all Chrome OS devices. And just like we talked about how, we leveraged these entertainment apps for our own use on the way to San Francisco this week, patients are still people at the end of the day, and they want to be able to be people and to access different information. So through the Google Play Store on Chrome OS, you're able to deliver some of those applications like Netflix, like Spotify for entertainment use, and help through some of those feelings of anxiety that they might be feeling. So with that said, you just heard a lot from me about how Chrome Enterprise works. I'm going to turn it over to Jason Tahaney from Hunterdon, who is a current Chrome customer, so he can tell you about their Chrome journey. Jason?
Thank you, Angela. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm from New Jersey, and we don't have the hills that we have here in San Francisco. We have mere foothills compared to this. And I also took up running about 2 years ago, and I thought I was all that kind of running last night, and my knees not quite what they used to be. So if I go crashing down, please, it's for no other health reason other than I was stupid yesterday. So anyway, I'm Jason Tahaney. I'm the director of IT for Hunterdon Health. And a little bit about Hunterdon Healthcare System. We are a community hospital with a very far reach. We have about 75 physician practices. We're founded in 1946, literally the miracle in the cornfield. We raised a whole bunch of money a long time ago, and part of the Hunterdon Healthcare System. And I'm going to talk a little bit, as Angela mentioned, about some of the Google products that we use and we found to really be powerful for our organization. So in healthcare, we really have some serious IT challenges. We have legacy applications, so unless you're one of the lucky few and you can afford some of the really large EMR systems, you're left with about 8 or 9 different EMRs in your health system. A lot of them are codes based that was developed back in the 90s. I know that's for us. Some of our EMRs are just really that ancient. And not to mention, even if you have some of the larger EMRs, you still need like surgical systems, and you need things like nutritional management systems. Really complex to run a hospital. So lots of legacy applications. And then because of legacy applications, partially we have data silos. So we end up with information kind of all over the place across different EMRs. We try to tie that together with something called an interface engine, right? And it works, but not really quite that seamless integration that we all would like to see. Some of the newer standards with FHIR that are coming out are going to kind of hopefully help with some of those issues. And then we have rising costs. So I think I read, as of 2012, it's about $377 billion in the cost of inpatient healthcare in the United States, right? That's just inpatient. That's a whole lot of money, right? Regulatory environment, so we have I think everyone here, if you're in healthcare, you know what HIPAA is, the security and privacy rules, security rules, how we protect the privacy of our patients. We also have things like PCI, if you take financial transactions, a whole lot of PCI compliance that you need to do. Basically, if you're doing business with credit cards, you need to be compliant for PCI. And we have limited skills, where to start, so I have, lots of talent, great teams, but not enough of them, right? So we really look to, like others, look into the cloud to, how can we leverage cloud? We picked Google Cloud, and I've been pleasantly surprised, very happy with the product so far. So a little bit about the solution, healthcare in the cloud. For us, Chrome Enterprise is at the center of that, and that's everything from the Chrome browser on the desktop that we standardized to things like Chromebooks, Chrome boxes, the meeting room boxes as well, that we use, that we're starting to use. We also use Docs and Sheets, which are your Word and Excel replacements, and really Google did a nice job with that. They were kind of one of the first ones for that real-time collaboration in Docs and Sheets, and we took advantage of that early and very powerful. Team Drive, another great one for, if you want to replace your SharePoint, your Microsoft SharePoint product. We had about 40 different SharePoint sites out there, and when we moved to Team Drive, we were able to consolidate that. And when we put Team Drive together with sites, then you can either do a very nice intranet application or have the same functionality as SharePoint, essentially. So, Alert Center, you can't do any kind of presentation, especially in healthcare, without talking about cybersecurity. So the nice thing about Alert Center is it's across the entire Google platform, all the products you're using. It's kind of that alerting to tell you, hey, something's going wrong, whether it's on your mobile device, some suspicious activity on a mobile device, to something going on in the Chrome browser. It's kind of all the things as a consumer that you see out there. When you connect from a trusted computer, do you trust this computer or not? So that's what this is for your enterprise. So the solution's expanded. So I talked a little about the SharePoint sites and silos. Team Drive and Google Sites really working out very well for us there. We were able to consolidate and get rid of our SharePoint footprint. Legacy applications, so we have to support these applications, and kind of how do we do that with Chrome? And the nice thing, what I like about Chrome is, it's a modern operating system, really a cloud-based operating system. But we can still tie it to some of the traditional ways of how we used to do things with VDI, or virtual desktop infrastructure. So, plug in your provider. Google pretty much supports it. We're a VMware Horizon customer, and it works very well with that, although it works with Citrix as well. And we found that has been very nice. So we've been able to kind of put Chrome devices out there and still provide access to our legacy applications. Multiple collaboration tools, so things like what I didn't mention on the slide before, Google Meet and Hangouts. So Meet is your WebEx replacement. It can be used for training, video conferencing. Really nice, and the great thing about it is it comes with, when you get the suite, Google Suite, which also I haven't mentioned Gmail, right? So our journey started with Gmail and G Suite, but it's all part of the suite. When you use that, you get Google Meet and Hangouts. So very nice tools that we've been able to take advantage of. On the regulatory side, it doesn't get any more important than the security piece of this. What's nice is the security hard in Chrome OS. So we can put them out there without needing expensive tools to manage them, right? So they're encrypted by default. You can use the Google console to manage all that. And even for things like software deployment, you don't have to go out and get a separate tool to do software deployment to your Chrome devices. And we found there's a reduction in cost there, right? Because we don't need those expensive tools anymore. So easy patching on the Chrome browser. Angela mentioned that. It's auto patching. It really is true. I was pleasantly surprised by this. Another tool that we needed to kind of patch our Windows environment, not needed in the Chrome environment. It is self-patching, and it really does work. So on the rising costs, right, we estimated about $400, $600 per Chromebook deployed, and that's because you don't have kind of the expensive cost of your Microsoft licensing as well, for Office and things like that. And it's, along with email, Gmail, it's been a great cost savings for us. And they're easy to use products. I mean, they really are. You can really put them out there. When we went live with Gmail and G Suite, we did all the training to our organization. We did all those kinds of things. But to be honest, they had seen the product already in their kind of consumer life, right? So it really helped with that transition. And we found that it's been an evolutionary process since then. We just kind of put it out there, and folks just start to use it, right? It's really been a great thing. So Google Cloud, increased productivity, it's easy to use, it is budget friendly, secure out of the box, and does provide better collaboration. All the tools are very tightly integrated and very powerful when you use it as a platform. So a little bit of a case study here. This is in New Jersey, back in 2017, the state required us to they put out a New Jersey early intervention system for child development. So the goal of this was to catch developmental disabilities in children early in the patient's home, and they put this progress node tracking system out there that they required our clinicians to use it. We had to use it in about 30 days. So our director of child development kind of came to me in a panic, say, hey, we need devices to get out there. We need to do this in 30 days. How are we going to do it, right? So we were able to do it with Chromebooks. It was amazing how fast we were able to deploy it. Since they're secure out of the box, it was a web-based application. It had everything that they needed, right? And we were able to get it out there. And then it was very tightly integrated with our legacy applications as well. We provided access to Windows applications through VDI. And they had G Suite and Chromebook or anything else that they needed to use. So kind of a nice story there, and it's still working out very well, and always a good thing when we're helping out children. So we talk about cybersecurity and privacy, and this slide really is about the security piece of this. I think back in 2016, Verizon put a report out. 90% of the breaches that happen out there start with email. So the G Suite, Gmail itself, very powerful. We do a lot. I mean, the email security AI is incredible. You get these products kind of right out of the gate. So things like attachment sandboxing protection against zero-day threats, and so that's basically a piece of malware out there that nobody knows how to fix. And this is technology that's put out there by Google to try to catch it really without any kind of pattern or any kind of traditional signature-based technology. We talk about protecting patient health information. Encryption at rest is huge. For us, we knew we needed to do this. We just could not do it in our data center. I mean, the cost for us to encrypt everything that we have in our data center was really off the charts, not really feasible. So you get this by default, and I think I heard that Google's one of the only ones that in their cloud environment, they provide the encryption by default. So that was very, very, very powerful, encrypting data at rest. We were able to do around regulatory, a hardened Chrome OS environment works very well for our clinicians. And what's nice is the security that just kind of works. It doesn't get in the way of the provider or the clinician providing care, which is always a good thing in security. The other big factor for us on the business associate side for HIPAA, right? You have to, if you're going to do business with a healthcare institute, you really have to sign a business associate. So Google does sign HIPAA business associate agreements. So very, that was a key one for us early on when we were looking at G Suite, probably about 6 or 7 years ago. They weren't quite there yet, but now they are doing that. So very powerful, strong regulatory compliance, advanced threat protection, cloud-based security that is always improving. I mean, you get these things without thinking about it. The features just kind of come out. You do have to turn them on, but we truly have seen, at least on the Google side, we've seen the power of cloud on Google and getting these, getting features turned on kind of right away, especially in the security part of it.